You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are doing well. It's me, your diva and knowledge lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris Renaissance, my co-ed channel for men and women. Hope everybody is doing well, y'all. My house has been under construction, so y'all, I'm still making a sacrifice to try to upload today, even though I'm dealing with dust particles all over the place, and nevertheless, in the middle of remodeling, so y'all, that takes time and money. But nevertheless, let's get right into it, y'all. So I thought it was imperative that I talked about this because, y'all, the streets are on fire right now, knowing that Megan Thee Stallion has went viral posting that Klay Thompson has been cheating on her. Whoop-de-doo, as if we didn't think these things came along with dealing with an NBA player. But I beg to differ, and I am going to show y'all so y'all can see for yourself. So this is what she posted, y'all, right? Make sure y'all hit that like button. By the way, if you have not, cheating, had me around your whole family playing house, got cold feet, holding you down through all your horrible mood swings and treatment towards me during your basketball season. Now you don't know if you can be monogamous? Bitch, I need a real break after this one. Bye, y'all. Baby, when I say, the streets ain't having no empathy or sympathy for her. Listen, except for, of course, the sisters in denial, the sisters in delusions, because let's face it, these modern women, they want these ratchet sisters to win. They want them to win so bad. And my thing is, I don't know how you think any man's going to respect you and want to consider you as wife material when you constantly have your ass out, you're constantly twerking, you're constantly talking about, you know, how you want a ninja to beat it and eat it and all of these other degrading things, but yet you want a man to see you as wife material. And nevertheless, I know a lot of people want to say, well, that's just her music. That doesn't mean she can't be a good wife and can't be married. But this is the problem. Once you put yourself out there in that type of light, the chances of a man being able to really take you serious as somebody he can build a future with and have something meaningful with, the odds of that are very slim, right? So anyway, you got a lot of black women that are very angry with Klay Thompson. And, you know, anytime, you know, these sisters, you know, arrive into a relationship, you know what I mean? Black women want so badly for them to win. And I totally get that, especially because, let's face it, the odds have been against us for a very long time. We don't get spared grace like everybody else, but nevertheless, women have to stop being delusional, okay? We have to stop believing that just because these women are famous, successful, and beautiful, that they are automatically wife material, okay? Just because you think a woman is famous, successful, and beautiful, she should automatically have a successful relationship too. But that's not how life works, especially when you're dealing with men who have options, okay? So, what we're seeing play out with some of today's most popular female rappers isn't bad luck, it's a pattern. And instead of asking why the relationships don't last, people attack the men for not staying. You know, and that's the thing, right? This isn't about disrespecting women. This is about understanding relationship dynamics, behavior, and compatibility, because fame doesn't override reality, okay? So let me give y'all a scripture right quick. Proverbs 31, chapter 30. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is not vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Looks, fame, and attention are temporary. Character and conduct determine long-term value. Y'all don't understand how ruthless a lot of these females are behind closed doors. You know what I mean? All y'all see is, oh, she's for black women. It's black women empowerment. She supports black women. She's speaking for us. Well, she doesn't speak for me. She might speak for y'all, but she doesn't speak for me. But y'all don't understand how dealing with these women behind closed doors, it's a lot of work. And as women, we are automatically going to empathize and sympathize with other women without holding them accountable. Y'all are automatically looking at Klay Thompson with the side eye, but you have to realize this is not the first relationship Megan has been in and it has not worked out. So you mean to tell me every man she's been with, they are the problem? Y'all mean to tell me every relationship Cardi B has been in, they are the problem? You mean to tell me that Remy Ma was not the one who had any problems in that marriage between her and Papoose? Even though she clearly stepped out on him first, nobody said nothing about Remy Ma being with D Block. To this day, everybody's going in on Clarissa. Nobody is saying anything to D Block. This is my problem with black women. It's the selective outrage for me. Okay? Y'all automatically want to defend black women when in true essence, a lot of these sisters is not innocent. Now, do all of them deserve to be dogged and dragged? Absolutely not. But what I am saying is we have to stop always seeking sympathy and empathy and start making these women take accountability. That's what I'm saying, right? So, here goes one sister. Damn, I really rooted for them. And Megan looks so happy, but Clay really just proved he's like the rest of them. These men never change. So you're going to put all of these men in the same box because of a female rapper who's always talking about twerking, who's always shaking ass on stage. That's all she delivers, okay? And you are automatically jumping in her defense. For what? For what? While you already ridiculing this man, you know nothing about him. Other than you just knew he was Megan Thee Stallion's boyfriend. Okay? Other than that, you don't know him to be coming for him. Now, am I saying he's innocent? Nah. I wouldn't doubt that he was cheating. But let's not act like Megan is not a piece of work. Okay? All right? Now, again, you're saying Megan looked happy. And see, all of that was a facade because, see, when you get in the industry, it's automatically this misconception that because a woman is successful and because she's beautiful and talented, a man should automatically want her. So that's the reason why when women like Meg and Cardi B, when they link up with a man, y'all are already throwing confetti. The moment they announce pregnancy, y'all are already throwing the confetti. Okay? The moment they announce they think they're getting married, y'all are already standing in line, ready to buy the first registry bridal gift. And a lot of this is a misconception because a woman is famous and successful and beautiful. She is automatically wife material. And I'm here to beg to differ and let y'all know that. Just because a woman has fame and success, it does not make her wife material. No different than a man who may have fame and success and he's not husband material. Floyd Mayweather is a big example. Okay? Now, going to the second one, right? Proverbs chapter 31, verse 30. Let me make sure. Y'all. Okay, no, I read that one. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 9. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop or rooftop than with the brawling woman in a wide house. Other words, even in abundance, money, space, and status, peace matters more. A man with options will choose peace over prestige. So my thing is, we know Megan Thee Stallion is Megan Thee Stallion. It's beautiful, successful, body yada yada, you know what I mean? Ping, ping, pow. She got all of that. But y'all have no clue what a man got to go through to be with her. Okay? Y'all have no clue. Okay? Well, from what I've witnessed with a lot of these type of women is that they're very, very beastie behind closed doors. They're very beastie. They're very possessive. They're very clingy. They're very annoying. Listen, it's a lot that comes along with these type of women. Y'all act like some of these female rappers don't have mental issues, okay? Bipolar, schizophrenic. Half of these women that a lot of black women are idolizing, a lot of these women need to be on medication. A lot of them need therapy. Okay, a lot of them are struggling with psychological issues and a lot of mental issues, but you would not know that because the martyr-minded woman, she's not woke enough to look beneath the surface. She's looking over the surface, right? She's looking at the fame, she's looking at the prestige, and she's looking at a woman's beauty and her looks. Okay, and we cannot deny that Megan Thee Stallion is not an incredibly beautiful, stunning woman, but underneath all of that, she may be brain damaged. Okay, she may be damaged goods. Okay, damaged goods are not just single mothers with multiple baby daddies. Damaged goods are not just women that are overweight. Damaged goods are women that are very beautiful, that are very successful, and as far as business wise and talent wise, they got that together. But underneath, there's a lot of underlying issues underneath all of that that none of y'all will not know about, is unless you were with her like Klay Thompson and the other men she had prior to him. Okay, only they know that side of her. I guarantee you, if Meg Thee Stallion's exes all did a panel on her, you'll be surprised with how much these men have in common and how much they had to go through with Megan mentally and spiritually and physically. Listen, not only that, women like Megan, and I'm just saying alleged, and y'all can hit the like button for me if you haven't. Women like Meg are verbally and physically abusive. And I'm just saying alleged because you have women like that are so used to people worshiping them and praising them and giving them all this love and accolades. They're so used to having these fans that put them on a pedestal that they automatically think that men are supposed to do it. And see, honestly, the modern-minded woman has created a monster out of these successful women. You got women like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion who automatically feels like ninjas are supposed to roll out the red carpet because it came from other women putting these women on the pedestal. It's more women putting them on the pedestal than it is men. Now, it's not that they don't have male fans, and it's not that they don't have men fans who rock for them, but let's face it, a lot of the modern women have encouraged these female rappers to be that the way that they are. So that's why when these female rappers get in relationships, they are looking for the same treatment of having somebody kiss their ass because that's what they fans do. So they get with these men, and especially men that are just as famous and got just as much accolades in them. Klay Thompson is not going to kiss her ass like her fans do. It's not going to happen. A lot of these guys that are rich, successful, they're not going to kiss these other female rappers. They're not going to kiss their ass. They're not going to do it. Okay? It's just not going to happen. All right? So, let's also get into some other dynamics, right? The problem is not fame, it's not success, it's not money, it's not beauty. The problem is what comes with it. And we're going to get into talking about all of that, right? In just a few minutes, right? So let me see if there's any other comments on here. Cheating on someone who's out of your league is insane, okay? Men are never short of audacity. I need an Etsy witch to get involved immediately. Ladies, it's honestly better to be single now than deal with these men. Protect your peace and health, money, and make money and flourish. Okay, I get it. And I agree. Women need to protect their peace. But at the same time, you don't think a man ain't going to protect his peace? You don't think he's not going to say, you know what? Let me get the hell out of this toxic ass relationship before I lose all of my millions. Before I lose, all my endorsements. Before I end up with a criminal record. I think everybody should protect their peace. Man and women. Okay? Megan radiates so much love. I hate that people always do her dirty. They're jealous of her light and want to bring her down. Now, I'm not saying she deserves every mishap that goes wrong in her life. But what I'm saying is she is contributing to that, and women need to stop being in denial about it. Okay? So, let me get back. Let me move this out the way, y'all. Let's get back into the main thing at hand, right? Okay, so let's go into these different dynamics, y'all, because I think it's important that we have to understand why these successful female rappers just can't get it right, okay? All right, so many female rappers are brands first, partners second. Their image is built on dominance, independence, I don't need a man energy. And that may sell music, but it conflicts with relationships dynamics. The same energy that makes you marketable can make you difficult to partner with. You have to realize women like Cardi B and Cash Doll, which I love Cash Doll, by the way. She's one of my favorites. Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. A lot of these women got masculine ass energy. And the reason they got masculine energy is because they are in an industry that demands it, okay? Let's face it. Female rappers who are more masculine get more notoriety, and men who are more feminine in the hip-hop industry, like Carlos Santana and Nas X at that time when he was popping or whatever, they get more notoriety when they act more feminine. Okay, male rappers that are crashing out and all of that, and getting emotionally, out of whack like women, they tends to, their career tends to, their hip hop career tends to expand quicker and faster when they're acting feminine. And for women, it expands faster when they are more masculine, to the point that even women have to rap masculine. If you notice, women are ripping like this, cause I'm that bitch that you can't fuck with. They even have to make their voice sound manly, because the industry has basically groomed female rap artists into thinking that you have to act more masculine to win. And okay, that works for the album sales, right? And that works for social media. That works for marketing purposes. But it does not work when you're getting with a man. Both of y'all cannot be men. You cannot talk deeper than your man. You cannot overly emasculate him. You cannot emasculate him, like make him feel less of a man, because the industry has gotten you so accustomed to acting like one. Not only do female rappers have taken on that masculine energy as far as adopting a voice to sell records, they have adopted dominance. In this industry, these female rappers, they get people who kiss their ass and do what they say do all the time. That goes for their makeup artists. That goes for their staff. That goes for people who work for them and for people who worship them. People who work for female rappers, or people who have female rappers that they worship, they're going to, or if they have fans who worship them, or people who work for them, that's what I'm saying. They're used to people catering to them. They have become accustomed to people doing what they say do. Well, the problem is when you get in a relationship, your man is not your makeup artist. Your man is not your fan. He's your man. Your fans may roll over like Rover and do whatever you say do, but in a relationship, it doesn't work that way. And what tends to happen, the modern women, these female rappers, have become so industrialized to the point that they don't forget, when you're in a relationship with the man, he's not part of your staff or your entourage. You don't get to tell him to shut up and be quiet like you do people who work for you or people who worship you. Now, I would say this. Safari, who was the ex-boyfriend of Nicki Minaj, he said that was one of the biggest problems he had with Nicki Minaj. And it always resonated with me, and I never forgot when he said that. But I remember when he said that, that was his issue. She was treating him like he was part of the entourage. Okay. She handed him his bags, not because he had a problem toting her bags for her as her man, but at the time, she started treating him like he was somebody who worked for her. And a lot of these women, they do that. Now, Remy Ma will sit up here and talk about how Papoose, how she spent all the money and how he was living off of her, but at the same time, for her to have been with him not long, she had liked the fact that she was dominating him the majority of that marriage. We knew who wore the pants in Remy Ma and Papoose relationship. We knew Remy ran things. Remy ran things to the point to where she even was able to have Papoose get with her and still wait on her when she got locked up in jail, when she was incarcerated. Now, we could say he wasn't innocent. We know he was out here smashing and dashing, okay, while Remy was locked up. We're not going to act like Papoose was not out here sliding and dumpster diving, okay? He was doing that. But whatever he was doing, he called it all off once Remy got out. They rebuilt their family. He went on a show with her, being a private dude. He still went on Love and Hip Hop. They had a baby together. But even with all his humbleness, she looked at him like he was soft. She ended up, dealing with another dude, D-Block, on the side of that, a dude that probably wasn't going to be near as humble as Papoose. A lot of times these female rappers, they become confused because They want a man that's just as dominant as them, but at the same time, it causes conflict because she's got used to being a man. But if you too soft and easygoing, she ain't gonna respect you. So it's very, very challenging dealing with industrialized, modern-minded woman. Okay, really the only type of dudes that can deal with these industrialized minded women, it's going to take somebody who's going to be overly dominant, and that's not going to take nothing from them. And the problem is that when they meet these type of dudes, and they realize they can't dominate them, these dudes end up cheating on them. These dudes end up disrespecting them because these dudes are going to show you, I'm going to dominate your ass one way or another. If I can't dominate you or be treated as a man in a relationship, if I got to get with another woman or whatever the case is to show you that I don't have to take your shit, that I don't have to tolerate you because of who you are, then maybe that'll be your rude awakening. And you'll either ship up or you'll ship the hell out. And most of the time, they're going to ship out. And they got a choice to do that. So it's a lot of ego involved when it comes to these type of industry relationships. That's why I don't consider these relationships couples goals. While all of these other black women are so happy every time a female rapper gets with another black man, I'm not throwing confetti. I'm not jumping and cheering. And even if she's not getting with a black man, she gets with a white man or a non-colored man, I'm not cheering either, because I understand how this industry relationship works. Sooner or later, egos are going to get out of hand. Sooner or later, somebody going to feel some type of way because they feel like one is getting more attention than the other. These type of relationships are very, very toxic. And if both of y'all are not strong-minded or one of y'all is not level-headed, it's just not going to last. It will crash and burn as soon as it takes off, right? So that's one thing, right? As I stated, these women, the industry has made them so dominant and so independent that they have this I don't need a man in energy. In actuality, is contradictory because they'll claim they don't need one, but as soon as you turn around, the first man they get, they posting them. They're letting everybody know, oh, look at me. I got my man. They writing songs about them. They posting them 24/7. So it's the contradictory, okay? The second reason, right? And make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all have not already. Y'all who are just coming in, we are talking about why these female rappers, why these women in the industry getting left from other dudes in the industry, okay? I'm talking about Cardi B, talking about Cash Doll, talking about Nicki Minaj. I'm talking about, of course, Megan Thee Stallion, Remy Ma, all the women who are doing this, right? Okay, men with options have boundaries. Okay, high-level men, high-value men. These are the ones that are athletes, entertainers, and businessmen. They have choices. They don't need validation from a woman's fame. So I know a lot of y'all are saying, well, nobody really knew who Clay was until she got with Megan. No, that's for you female rapper obsessed fans who don't know anything about sports. Clay always had his own name. Cardi B baby daddy. Stefan always had his own name, okay? A lot of these guys, they already had their own notoriety. If you're not a sports fan, you're not going to know that, all right? Honestly, I'm not a sports fan, so I didn't know about any of these guys until they got with these female rappers, okay? Not because they are unknown, not because they don't have a career popping. If you're not a sports fan, you're not gonna know them. So for y'all to sit up here and make it seem like, he was a nobody until Cardi B got with him, or until Meg got with Clay. Nah, these dudes already had their own name. You know what I mean? They was more low-key and more private. And that's another reason. That's why a lot of them don't want to be with women that are overly popular than them. Not because they're jealous of them. They just don't want to be part of that spotlight. See, the modern-minded woman, she's not going to look at it that way. She's going to look at it, he's hating on her, he's jealous of her because y'all's been more famous than him. No. People have different levels of fame. And believe it or not, some people like their low-key fame to where they're known, but not known to the point to where they're constantly being scrutinized. Stefan was already known, right? He was known as having being a good athlete. He was known as having multiple baby mamas, but boy, once he got with Cardi, everybody really got to know him. You know what I mean? And they got to know him in the worst light. So don't try to downplay these other men as if they didn't have their own fame and their own success. There's a difference between having fame and more popularity. Some people have fame with popularity, and you have others who just have fame. They are known for their fame, but they don't have the popularity, okay? So, getting back into these industry men, right? Like these rappers, these athletes, these entertainers, these businessmen, they're not impressed by what modern women are impressed by. They're not impressed by what fans are impressed by. Fans are impressed by followers, fame, and money. See, the modern-minded woman is very delusional. She thinks because a woman, a female, is famous and has over 500,000 followers that she is automatically wife material. All of these men that's checking for her, so any man who gets with her, he should be appreciative. He should worship the ground she walks on. But you got to realize, men who already have their own fame, they don't get impressed by things that people who don't have money get impressed by. Okay, like you may get impressed if you see an athlete pulling up in a Ferrari. Well, other athletes who got Ferraris and got Maybach cars and all of that, to them it's like any other car. To you, it's gonna be bigger to you because you're not in that world. Okay, but men in the industry, they got their own cars, they got their own money, they got their own mansions. Nothing these women got can really impress these men, okay? And except for the poverty pookies, and we're going to talk about them in a few minutes, okay? Instead, industry men like Klay Thompson and all of these other well-known guys or whatever, athletes, they're evaluating peace, respect, and compatibility. Klay has met women a dime a dozen, like many of these athletes. In order to impress these type of guys, you have to bring them something totally different that they're not used to. And if you really think about it, what's starting to happen with a lot of industry men, they are picking up women that are the complete opposite of what their fans think they should be. Like, look at Usher. Usher ended up with a Mexican woman. He married her, okay? Because he realizes that being in the industry for as long as Usher has been in the industry, that it is that black women for him are just too much. He's had his share. Okay? He was married to Tamika Raymond, and we saw that ended up being a recipe for disaster. Then he got with another black woman by the name of Grace, and he finally just done got to that point to where, you know what, I want peace. Now, I'm not saying this to downgrade black women. I'm not saying we're not good enough or we're not desired enough, but what I'm saying is, a man is going to protect his peace however he chooses to. Now, when a black woman gets with a white man, we are automatically excited for her. We are already capable for her. Oh, she found her peace. She found her safe. Or if he's not a white man, if he's a black successful man, she's found her peace. She's found her safe haven. Well, that's the same thing. Men in the industry, they're looking for their peace too. And if it's going to be with a woman that's totally the opposite of what other people think they are, they don't care about that because at the end of the day, they're getting their peace of mind, okay? So anyway, just thought I would bring that point out, you know what I'm saying, for everybody who wants to make a big fiasco out of that, right? So let's get into talking about, well, before we go to that point, the last point I want to say with that, men with options don't compete, they choose. Okay? In other words, he didn't have to take Megan shit. He had to take her disrespect. And y'all don't know how foul and nasty at the mouth some of these women are behind closed doors. F you, ninja. I can get any man I want. You know what I mean? You don't know what she probably said to try to belittle him or to make him feel low, like you should be honored to be with me. And imagine yourself with an arrogant ass guy who got a lot of goddamn money, and because you're finding out this ninja got a lot of money, but he disrespectful, he fall out the mouth, he a hoe, yeah, he buys me nice things, but I can't take the disrespect. And for this ninja to turn around and be on some, oh, you ain't shit, I can get any bitch I want, this, and that. You're going to be like, you know what? Take your car if you got any type of integrity. Take your car, take your money, and get the hell up out my life, because I'm not going to deal with the disrespect just to say that I'm with a man who got money. It come a point when I don't care how famous, how much money somebody has, but when you find out behind closed doors they crazy, they bipolar, and they nasty at the mouth, and they don't know how to talk to you, you're not going to deal with them. Why you think Floyd Mayweather cannot keep women? Every woman who he has been with has said the same thing. They say the man is arrogant. They say he nasty. They say he will cheat. And no woman wants to deal with him. And now that he's gone broke, allegedly, ain't too many women going to be checking for him for real in a few minutes. The only reason women was tolerating him like they was because he was making money. But anyway, let's move on. Ego clashes. Two high profile individuals. That becomes a power struggle. Neither wants to submit, adjust, or be misunderstood publicly. Relationship turns into who's winning versus who's building. In other words, neither one of us, we ain't got to humble ourselves to each other. I got my own money, like you got money. I got my millions, you got your millions. I got my mansion, you got your mansion. But what the hell we got to fight for? So neither one of them really needs each other. And because of that, neither one is going to humble themselves to say, you know what? We need to do whatever it takes to make this relationship work. We need to go to counseling. We need to go to church, whatever. Egos get involved and say, fuck this. I ain't got to take this. I got my own mansion. Okay. I'm leaving. All right. And same thing with a man. Should all these women who want me, all these women who checking for me, and I'm going to sit up here and take all this disrespect from your ass when I got women who out here who's checking for me, who got bodies just as nice as yours, who got the looks just as good as yours, and I'm going to sit up here and take all kind of bull crap off of you? Absolutely not. So, in industry relationships, egos get the best of couples every single time. Okay, and that's just the bottom line with that, right? Public scrutiny and image control. Everything these couples do is filmed, posted, and critiqued. So with that, it creates pressure, distrust, performance instead of ethnicity. A lot of these relationships that a lot of these modern women are idolizing, what a lot of these black women don't realize, a lot of these relationships are fake. They're not for real. Okay, a lot of these women want to get with men who are successful because it helps them to prove their points to the last ninja that I can do better than you, that I can have more than you. We're not going to act like Cardi B did not get with Stephon because she wanted to prove a point to Offset. Okay, we're not going to act like Remy Ma didn't get with D-Block because she wanted to prove a point to Papoose that I could always get another nigga on you. Okay, you ain't the final destination. A lot of these females, martyr-minded women, they move on quick just to prove a point, knowing they really still kind of want the relationship, but what it is, they want the ninja to bow down. They will run out here and grab another man, hoping that maybe the ninja will see that if another nigga sees my potential, you'll see it. Only for them to find out, hell, this nigga you left your man for, he ain't no better than the one you left him for. Okay? Remy looks great, but let's face it, I haven't seen her get nobody better than Papoose yet. Okay? All right? Let's face it. All right, Cardi B, you got with Stephon, but shit, you ended up in the same boat that you was with Offset. I mean, Stephon ain't really hitting on nothing. You know what I mean? He done got put off his team and stuff, so you did all of that performing and still ended up looking bad in the end. Now, her fans are going to ride for her and no matter, and still try to dismiss that and overlook the fact that she played herself. A lot of women in the industry, they play themselves every time because it's all about trying to prove a point versus protecting a peace. Okay. Now, this is the other thing. Entertainment culture versus relationship values. This is a big problem why a lot of these industry men can't tolerate these industry women in a relationship. Industry rewards sexualization, independence narratives, and boss mentality. See, the industry has groomed you and trained you to be a certain way. You have to be overly sexually explicit to keep those record sales. Yes, you got to twerk. You got to go on stage with thongs on. With no panties on. You noticing a lot of these women are becoming more and more explicit on these stages. It went from wearing leotards to now they damn near wearing lingeries on the stage. They ass and everything is out. And I understand, and unfortunately, because it's part of the image, they have to keep pumping that narrative, which to me, I think is disrespectful, because you got to realize a lot of your fans are also bringing a man in them there with them. So you're putting your ass and everything out there, not having no respect for your female fans who probably want to go to your show just to have a good time. And you're giving off all of these damn Jezebel ass vibes, you know what I mean? And it's a lot of sexualization that is being rewarded in the industry. And of course, the independence. You don't need to take a nigga shit. You could always get with another bitch, stuff like that. And boss mentality. Because, again, like I mentioned y'all before, you're so used to everybody kissing your ass, you think it's going to be the same way in a relationship. But relationships, on the other hand, they don't work like the industry. Relationships require compromise, vulnerability, and accountability. And a real relationship, there's work to do. There's no such thing as you just giving orders. The problem is a lot of these women, they try to run these men like they run the industry. And it doesn't work that way. You can't build a private relationship with a public mindset. Okay? Next is misconception from fans. Please hit that like button if you have not already done so. We're talking about why industry men are leaving female rappers, these women in the industry. Why are they walking away from them? Why y'all heads is in the clouds thinking that these men are hating on them, that these men are just using them. It's way more to it. You can't just want to take a woman's side because you're a woman. You have to be objective and remain mutual to the whole situation. Okay? Fans believe because she's successful, the man should humble himself to her. I cannot explain to y'all how many comments I read where all of the women was going in on Clay. All of the women was going in on Offset. All of the women going in on Papoose. Nobody ain't saying nothing about how these women move. Men don't humble themselves to status. So these men are not going to humble themselves, ladies, to your favorite rappers. Female rappers. They're not going to humble themselves to Cardi B because you love Cardi B. They're not going to humble themselves to Remy Ma because you love Remy Ma. Okay? They align with peace and respect. That's what they're going to humble themselves to. Okay? Because I'm not about to believe all men disrespect women. And for women who are saying that all men are alike, then you can't feel some type of way when men sit up there and make statements like, all women are alike, all women are bitches, all women are whores. If that's the energy you want to apply, then don't get mad when somebody applies that energy to you. Okay? Clay has not disrespected every woman he's been with. He's disrespected a select few. Same thing with the rest of these dudes. Y'all are only considering it disrespect because they disrespect the women y'all idolize. Okay? Why regular men last longer? Now, this is where I want to talk about the poverty pookies, right? This is where I want to talk about, like, Nicki Minaj. Okay? Like Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. Okay? Now, let's kind of talk about that a little bit. Okay? Now, Nicki couldn't get anywhere in the industry. Okay? Nicki had been with several guys in the industry. Okay? Now, before she got with Kenneth Petty, she's been with Safari for a long time. She was with Meek Mill. Okay? Allegedly, she dated Eminem at one time. Then, allegedly, she dated Nas at one time. Nicki has dated a couple of guys in the industry. I think Drake was one of them as well. So, Nicki has had her share of, industry men. Okay? All right? And it has not worked. It has not worked. She was not able to get Drake to kiss her ass but so much. Even though he seemed like a choir boy at the time. She could not get Meek Mill to humble himself. Safari wasn't on the high spectrum of fame, but even he understood the assignment and he was willing to walk out and leave, and he left that relationship because he was just not going to tolerate the disrespect because she was famous, okay? So Nikki has been talking to all kind of guys. We can say that, okay? I can't say for sure. I know her and Nas dated at one point in time. I knew that wasn't gonna last because Nas is overly intellectual and it's just a lot of stuff he's not gonna deal with. Okay? Allegedly, she dated Lil Wayne. I don't know. Okay, but we do know, right? Through all that, Nikki ended up with a plain poverty pookie. Kenneth pedophile petty. Allegedly. Hit that like button. And I'm going to tell you why she ended up picking a poverty pookie. Okay? For one, a non-celebrity man, meaning a low value, a poverty pookie, right? Which is an average guy, who's not in the industry. Okay? Who's not famous, who's not well known. Just a regular Joe Schmo, right? A non-celebrity man like Kenneth Petty, he's more likely to tolerate more. Why? Because he wants the lifestyle just as much as he wants the woman. Okay? And Nicki Minaj understood the assignment. She knew that men in the industry was not going to kiss her ass because she tried it. She tried it, and it failed. Okay? Nobody was not going to suck up to her and do what she said do. So she went and picked up Pookie pedophile Petty from the hood. He probably was, getting himself a Nathan's hot dog at the hot dog stand. And she was so happy riding by in her pink Lambo. You know what I mean? And, hey, what you doing? You want to take a ride with me? And then it just went from there. Okay? Nicki Minaj knew she was going to have to get a low income. A low income incel. Yeah. She had to get herself a low income incel because he's more than likely to take more stuff off of her because he comes from nothing. He does not have his own money. And I'm not saying the dude is totally insufficient. He probably can cut grass. He probably can. Allegedly, he did some producing work. I don't know nothing about it. But anyway, he'll take more because he doesn't have anything. And he doesn't want to go back to the hood sleeping on his Aunt Futon sofa. Okay, at least around that time, one of his homeboys from the hood who, aired out all his dirty laundry and basically said how he was struggling before he got with Nicki Minaj. So that's why Nicki ended up getting with pedophile Petty. Also, he isn't competitive with her status. Nobody knows who he is. This makes the woman feel, the industry woman, it makes her feel safer. She doesn't have to worry about a whole bunch of groupies coming at Kenneth because he doesn't have anything. Most women know whatever he got is through Nicki. So they're not really going to deal with him like that. Now, you may have one or two that's thirsty enough that may still try him because they looking at it like, hell, he with Nicki, he getting some of Nicki money. I'm on one end on some of it too. But for the most part, she's not with somebody that a lot of women are checking for. You know what I mean? So she don't have to worry about the competition. Next, he doesn't have as many options. Let's face it. It's not many women, if any, that's going to deal with Kenneth. Now, if they were to divorce, he ends up getting half of her earnings or something, then a woman to kind of come in, kind of like what Kevin Federline did with Britney Spears. Kevin Federline married Britney, he not no money, and then when they divorced, he ended up with the boys, and then he ended up getting remarried, so him and his new wife ended up living off Britney Spears' money for years. I think she just stopped paying on child support or whatever, all right? So, anyway, that's why you have female rappers like Nicki Minaj who end up just getting a regular dude. They don't want to have to go through worrying about competition and several women checking for them and stuff like that. The relationship feels more stable, you feel me? So that's the reason why you have women like Nicki Minaj who will pick up a poverty pedophile pookie. Okay? And in some cases it works. I mean, this is the longest relationship she's been in. Pookie does not want to go back to Nathan's hot dog stand, okay? He wants that upper echelon treatment. He done got used to the lifestyle Nicki has, so he's going to take all of her shit. Because he's used to being way to the bottom. So he's going to humble himself. He's going to sit in the background. When I say Nicki has him trained, honey, Nicki has Kenneth trained. I've seen her tell him to be quiet in public. I've seen videos in which he wanted to crash out and get ratchet, and she was like, babe, don't do that, don't do that. He humbled himself like a lamb. Now, she wouldn't have been able to do that with no Meek Mill. Oh, no Lil Wayne. She not going to be able to make a man be quiet that got just as much money and accolades as her. Kenneth realized, I got to shut the hell up, or else I'm going back to my aunt's futon sofa. I don't want that. I done got used to the life of luxury. Okay, so pedophile Pookie is more than likely to tolerate way more than an industry man who has his own money. Okay, so let me pretty much say this before I get ready to go. It's not that these women can't get men. It's that they struggle to keep men who have the same level of options. At the end of the day, relationships are not about who you are in the spotlight. They're about who you are in private. And no amount of fame can replace peace, respect, and compatibility. And I really think that's what's going on. A lot of these women, I truly believe, with their beauty and their brain damage. Behind closed doors, they talk to these men all kind of way. You know, they try to dominate men and not realize, even a woman with money, you have to allow a man to dominate, to feel like he has dominance in a relationship, not dominance to the point to where that he can beat on you, cheat on you, and disrespect you, and you stick with him no matter what. But a man has to feel like he's a man. And if you're trying to outman the man that you want to be your man, then you will find yourself manless. Okay? Leave the comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Yes, Cafe de Paris Renaissance back in business. I'll be talking to y'all soon. And please hit the likes before you exit. I appreciate it, y'all. Be blessed. Take care. I'm out.